Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and my son may call me right in the middle of this video to come get him from baseball. So, just wanted to let you know that because it could happen. Now, let's look at this market. The market, I think it was after I did my first video this morning, I was watching the market on my television, and I watched this market go, I watched XRP go, I think from about 64 cents to about 68 cents inside of 20 or 30 seconds. I couldn't believe what I was watching. This market is just dying to just blast off, and you can see it happening, not just with XRP, but you can see it with Bitcoin. Look at this. Now we're at 576 billion in this market. We're just going to fly past the old all-time high market cap, which was around 850 billion. You just watch. Now, this is significant, folks. Look at where Bitcoin is. It's at around 19.4. Let's look at what, and look at XRP. It's approaching 65 cents. Look what Barry Silbert said today. He said, "Great job, team. Enough with this range bound stuff. Who's ready for an all-time high?" And let's look at a little reminder here. The all-time high, this is Coin Paprika. Let me do a little refresh here. See it? Okay. All-time high, Bitcoin's right now at 19.4. We don't have we could achieve that all-time high in 30 minutes, folks, is the way this market's been acting here. I mean, it's 3.45% away from the all-time high. And then look at XRP. It's almost at 65 cents. It's got 492% to go to its all-time high. Ethereum has around 136% to go. Now, look, once Bitcoin passes its all-time high, it is game over, folks, because that headline right there is going to make this thing go berserk. All right, let's look at this, do a little refresh. This is Coinbase Pro, so you can see where this pretty much is the leading indicator of the market. So XRP's there dancing around 65 cents. I want to show you a couple of other websites if you've never seen, or one other website. This is tradingview.com, and this is the Bitcoin prices. But what you can do on TradingView is really cool. Mr. BXRP made me aware of this. You can see the prices for Bitcoin across multiple different platforms. So you can see where the price is on Bitstamp. It's pretty close across these platforms, but it's a little different. So you can kind of see where each platform is. And then I also pulled this for XRP. You can do the same thing with XRP. I'm looking at the XRP USD. You can see where's the biggest separation. Not any major separation at all. So you can see 64.648 on Coinbase. It's kind of neat to look at the different prices across these different platforms. All right, the Joker came in and said XRP, this is from this morning, XRP broke out. It targets 144, hidden bullish div. We have liftoff. Okay, so let's pull this chart up and take a closer look. So he's pointing for this thing to just take off from here, and it sure acts like it wants to. Now look at this, what he said. XRP rallied to 80 cents, shook out weak hands. The golden ratio, remember just a few short days ago, many of you were on Twitter, and I saw these people, they're like, oh, crying the blues about the market, when all it really was 2 or 3 days of pullback consolidation. And here we are again, folks, right back to where we were. Golden ratio at 45 cents held strong. The daily close will be a bullish engulfing candle. This pattern targets 144 to $2.33. Wow. Let's look at this chart. Okay, so he's showing this here is where we are kind of sitting. And then this is his zone, I guess, of where he thinks things are going. All right. XRP Wizard seems to think something similar, or this is an article he's tweeting. XRP price now eyeing $1 after key support level holds. Bitcoin price soars. Then XRP Bart sent me this. This is interesting right here from CoinDesk. The research arm of the New York-based AllianceBernstein, an investment firm with $631 billion in assets under management, now says Bitcoin has a place in investors' portfolios. You don't say. Are you noticing a pattern here? Are you noticing how everybody seems to be piling in and talking about how this is all of a sudden crypto's the place to go? This is a coordinated thing. It's across Wall Street. It's time, folks. It's time. I like this. XRP sent me this. Bitcoin 101 made for grandma. Listen to what this guy says.
I mean, I think there's nothing bigger in the space happening right now than the fact that PayPal is basically just said, hey, we're going to open this up to everybody up to buying, $20,000 worth of Bitcoin. And that's not an insignificant thing. And so what we're seeing is a lot of excitement, and it's kind of like it's introducing Bitcoin to a lot of new people, and they're learning about it. And what that's leading to, from my mind, is even though Bitcoin is kind of like your 101 version, it's made for grandma, right? It's so no one, anyone, my kid, grandma cannot mess it up with PayPal.
So Bitcoin 101 made for grandma. Okay. Michelle Vandenberg sent me this. Brad Garlinghouse was on a podcast, I guess today or yesterday. Great chatting with Danny Fortson. We cover a lot of ground on this podcast. Rampant XRP scams on YouTube. Rebuilding global payments from the ground up, and even managed to squeeze in a quick shout out to KU. Now, look at this. I'm going to let you listen to this part right here first.
They didn't fundamentally rewire how the system works. What Ripple is trying to do is rewire how the system works. And TransferWise benefits from that. TransferWise could benefit from that the way any financial institution could benefit from that. So I think what TransferWise is doing is really clever, and they've done a nice job. They built a really impressive business, but it's still dependent upon the existing rails. Nothing underlying that. The plumbing underneath that didn't change. And Ripple has kind of said, look, if we really want to enable what we call an internet of value, to allow value to move the way information moves today, you got to reset the rail. You got to step back and say, it's not going to work that way. And that's a much more audacious goal, but obviously what gets us excited.
And so that sounds very complicated. That sounds like a very heavy lift. And Ripple is, it's a startup, but it's not like a new startup. I mean, how far along that kind of continuum are you to basically replumbing the global financial system?
First of all, you're right. It is a really heavy lift, and it is in some ways, audacious to think that you could kind of rewire the global financial infrastructure. On the other hand, we find ourselves today with a global financial infrastructure that is, around 50 years old. And, yet here we are in 2020, still all depending upon that as the underlying cross-border solution, which, as you have personally experienced, having spent time living in the UK, is an example. I mean, remittances are a kind of baseline starting point, whether you're talking about the Western Unions or MoneyGrams. Yeah. The way those systems work also, to some degree, are like TransferWise, a hack of the existing system, because they pre-fund in currencies around the world, right? So they have working capital that they have placed around the world. And in some ways, that's dormant working capital, because it's sitting there waiting for a payment to flow through. It's waiting to be useful. And I think what we saw from the Ubers of the world, anytime you can take a dormant asset and make it more useful, that's a good thing. Well, for us, we go to a MoneyGram and the remittance markets and we say, look, not only can we enable real-time transactions, we can actually mitigate the need to pre-fund. We can mitigate the need to put that working capital out there. And, they have a capital cost. And so to the extent we can reduce their capital cost, that's a very positive thing for them. So, we have seen a lot of progress. We've signed up, I don't know the exact number we publicly announced recently, but in the hundreds of banks and hundreds of financial institutions that have signed up. But in terms of using XRP, we've, I think, publicly talked about over 24 customers who are using XRP in one way or another, because they have high capital costs and they don't want to pre-fund. The CEO of MoneyGram just talked about it on his earnings calls, about the efficiency they are seeing mitigating the need to pre-fund. And if they don't have to pre-fund, then that helps their balance sheet for sure.
All right. And I also want you to hear, if I can get to it, it's kind of tough finding spots on the podcast here. Let me keep going. Not there. Let's try right here. Ooh, we're close now. Listen to what. Ooh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead just a tad. Let me go back just a little bit. Come on. I'll just start from here.
Sure.
By the way, remember when Miguel Valles said zero doubt, and I put hashtag zero doubt in a lot of my Twitter posts? Listen to what Brad Garlinghouse says.
I mean, is that something that you believe, or is that something that because you run this company, or is it something that more people believe? In other words, we should be actually getting really worried about this.
Yeah, a whole bunch of good questions there. I mean, look, I'm not going to pretend that I'm completely objective. I am the CEO of Ripple, if not the leading blockchain company, one of the leading blockchain companies. So I won't pretend that I am completely objective on this topic. However, I have zero doubt in my mind that blockchain technologies are going to have an impact on lots of transactions because we can make them faster, cheaper, and more efficient. Over time, that will win. And I think we have seen digital assets, Bitcoin, XRP, they are here to stay. They have been through a lot. And I think, those who believe they're just going to,
That's all I wanted you to hear. He has zero doubt. But I want you to remember this and stamp this into your forehead. He said that Bitcoin and XRP transaction, he said they're here to stay. Because let me paint for you what that means. I was talking to my dad on the phone this morning, and I said, do you know what this means when we actually, no matter what they call XRP, and Brad Garlinghouse just said, XRP is here to stay, okay? If XRP is here to stay, and at some point it's going to get clarification on what they're going to call it, a currency, a secure, whatever they call it, whatever they've decided to call it. Once that is in stone, like he just said, he knows it's here to stay, just like we know it's here to stay. Once that's written in stone, what you know is that there's only 100 billion that will ever be. And guess what happens then? There's only 100 billion that will ever be. And from now on, the only ones people are going to be able to get their hands on is something in that 100 billion. And you and I already have ours. That means the price goes up. It has nowhere to go but up over time. All right. Moving along, Jonathan D. Sent me this. French protesters set fire to the central bank. Now we finally have someone setting fire to the places that probably need to be set fire to. No, I'm just joking. Nowhere needs to be set fire to. But anyway, you get the point. Okay, I want to remind everybody, all of these Cyber Monday and Black Friday sales are still going on. We're almost through all of these. We've got in the description of all of my videos, today only, Unstoppable Domains. You can see it right here. You can buy one, get one free. And that's in the links in the description of my video. It's like having an email address for the Internet of Value. And it's also like getting a .com. This is something I wanted to show some of you that haven't seen it. Sex.crypto sold for $90,000. So you can go and come up with different names. Now, also, the 88% off is going to last, I think it's almost over. 88% off Pure VPN to keep yourself from hackers trying to find out where you are, to surf anonymously. Also, this one ends today as well. 40% off Ledger Nano S in my description. And then you finally have this one, which I think ends today too. If you want to get one of these YubiKeys, this is in the description also. I've got links. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that the sales, the deals are there. Better go and grab them if you need any of those things. Thanks.